Welcome in, guys. So last week I showed you the best way to farm money from an entry-level perspective, meaning that you don't really have anything built yet. You don't really need anything other than gas to get Treasures of the Ancients, and it's a great way to farm $2,500 at a time. And the reason why you're farming Treasures of the Ancients is to get enough money to build a setup like this. Now, this is the ultimate way to farm money in this game. We're going to need cows, and we're also going to need chickens, and we're going to need a bunch of equipment on the inside. So obviously each cow is going to require a food source and a water source. I found it's best to put them in a 1x2 enclosure. You're also going to need milking machines, milking buckets. You're going to need these burners, which are at the hardware store. So everything here you can find in the general store, except for these burners for some reason. These burners are only in the hardware store. So you're going to need milkers. You're going to need milk cans. Now, this is way more than you need. However, you can scale this to massive lengths. In my previous world, the one that the developers took away from me, I had 100 hours in, and I had probably 20 different cow stalls on each side. And I would just drive a truck through the middle, collect all the milk, and then go into another building. And that's where I would process all of my blue cheese mold. So although you can do this with a lot less, your goal ultimately is to be as efficient as possible. So the more equipment that you buy, the easier and more money you'll be able to farm at one time. So in order to do this, there's a few different recipes that we're going to make inside of these pots. Now, it's important to note that there are many different combinations that you can cook in these pots. And whatever that combination is going to yield a different sell price when you go to sell it at the Best Burger. So when you're adding these in here, you need 3 ingredients. You're going to start off with your milk. You're going to put your milk inside of your pots. So you have all your milk in. You're going to need an egg in each one. And then lastly, you are going to need this Penicillium roqueforti. It's the blue mold. Whenever you go into the store, there's 3 different types of mold. There's a white one, a pink one, and a blue one. The blue one costs the most, but it also gives you the most money when you use it in this combination of ingredients. So each one has 5 charges on it. And then once you have the 3 ingredients, so you should see that the milk kind of looks gray and grainy, plus there's an egg on top. That means that you have all 3 ingredients in. Now, if you accidentally start cooking one of these, missing an ingredient or missing 2 ingredients, that's completely okay. You can still sell it. It's just going to give you a little bit less money. But as you can see, these are going to cook, and there's a percentage. There's a progress as well as a completion amount, 80 over 100, 84, 88. And you'll start to see once they finish, they just get cooked into these little cheese pies. Now, you're not going to click on the pot to remove the entire pot because that's not going to fit inside of any of these. So you're going to have to put it back down. You have to hit E to take the product out of the pot. And then you're going to press E again to fill one of these shadows. But as you can see, the reason why I have 6 burners on each side is because each cabinet can hold 6. So it's just a quick way for me to just get one closet done at a time. Now, these preserve bins, these cheese preserve bins also have a progression percentage as well as a completion percentage. And you just kind of have to wait. You can speed up the clock in game, which will absolutely speed up the percentage of these. But basically, open or close, they will cure either way. And you just repeat this process as often as possible. As you can see, when they finish, they turn from white cheese into this black block. At that point, you could take it out, put it in your cooler. As you can see, I messed up the recipe on one of them, which gave me a red block of cheese, which I'm going to sell for less money. Once you have your cooler full, you can fill up your box truck. When you're starting out and you're starting to scale, you probably don't need a box truck. But again, I'm just conditioned from my previous world where I was filling like a third of this box truck from floor to ceiling with the amount of production that I had. So you're going to line up the truck on this yellow square in the back of the building. Just make sure that whichever part of the truck you put the bins in, that is what's over the yellow. So I put my bins in the deep part of my truck, which is right behind the driver's seat. So I'm going to put that section of the truck inside of the yellow box. You're going to come over here and sell it all. 31K. We're going to get 31,000 for this truckload. We're going to get more next time. And remember, the larger that you scale, the greater yield you'll get every time you do a run. Once you sell all your product to the meat market, I can't stress this enough, reinvest back into your business before you reinvest back into stuff that you just want to build around your farm. Buy more burners, buy more pots, whatever makes it easier for you, the entire process to streamline it. Buy more milk containers, buy more mold. Buy more coolers, fill up eggs, you know, do all the boring stuff, all the grinding stuff, and it will pay you handsomely. You will make a ton of money. This last run I just did, I cleared just a little bit over 30,000, and then I reinvested it all back into equipment. The next run that I do is probably going to be closer to 50 or 60,000 for one run. Every day when you log in, or every morning when you wake up in game, you're going to be running around and tending to your cows. So you're going to take these milking machines, you're going to hit E on these little hoses on the side. Or, I'm sorry, you're going to left click on these hoses on the side, and then you're going to hit E to attach them to the cow. You do them all at once, just kind of run around, because you're going to pump out anywhere between like 7 and 14 gallons of milk, I think, from each cow at a time per day. I think you can actually do it twice a day, but I've been doing it once a day. And then to remove it, you just click it and then click again at the ground, and it'll just automatically get sucked back into the milking machine. So just click twice, basically. That way you don't have to sit there and aim, try and put it away. All right, so always make sure every day you're going to make sure that your food and your water are good. You're going to make sure that there is no feces. You're going to make sure all of that is cleaned up. And you are also going to check on your chickens. Now, with your chickens, they're all sleeping right now because it's nighttime. I probably should have shot this video during the day. I think I have my clock set to fast forward. That's why. So it's important to note that you don't need multiple chicken coops, although it's nice to have multiple chicken coops. I find that this chicken coop is the best chicken coop to make, even though it's the most expensive. I think it's actually called the expensive chicken coop or the luxury chicken coop. So I keep some baskets in here and some food and some water, and I am filling them up via this windmill that pumps water, and then also my grain silo over there. So I check these things. So it says 60 out of 200. So I'm going to hold R to fill this. So it's always nice to have some cash on hand, because this is going to empty pretty quickly, especially if you have your in-game clock turned forward for the shortest amount of time. Now, for the chickens, this is a really important factor. A lot of people will buy way too many male chickens. You really only need one male chicken. So when you come through here every day, and your chickens are going to pump out so many chicklets, so many, and you're not even going to try. They're just going to do it. As long as they're happy, the pen is clean, the food and water are there, you can really, really scale the amount of chickens that you have. They don't really sell for that much, but these roosters here, you can buy them for about $250 in the general store, and you can sell them for $100 a pop. So this will reduce some of the food and water that you have to refill on a daily basis. Now, in order to clean up all the poop and to collect the eggs, what you're going to do is close the door. You're going to come over to the side. Now, this is a pan that opens and closes as soon as I can click it. Unreal Engine. Right. So it stays closed, but you can open it up, and this is a very, very easy way. Now there's a mechanic in this game where if you click, you pick up something. And if you click again, you drop it automatically exactly where you are. It's really important not to do this with eggs because as you can see, I just picked up an egg. If I click again, it's going to break and drop on the floor. So what you're going to do really quick is just spam click. You're going to spam click to get all the chickens out. Make sure the door is closed, obviously, so they don't just run back inside. The chickens are always going to be naturally drawn to the inside, especially for the weather elements and their food and water source. Okay, so I can come in here and I can clean up all the poop. So once all the poop is picked up, all of your chickens in the area, if you got every single last piece, which I'm sure I have some outside still, all of your chickens will start shooting up hearts, which it's my understanding that that indicates happiness, that they'll hold their hunger and their thirst longer. They have a higher propensity to mate with one another, etc. But once we come back outside, it's really important also to eliminate the amount of aiming that we have to do. What I like to do is grab the eggs from the outside. I'll grab a basket. And if I stay from a nice crouch position right here, I can just click, aim at the basket, and hit the letter E. And what I can do is come here from eye level. And it's pretty quick. If you accidentally pick up the basket, no big deal. So again, you want to make your job as easy as possible. I'm putting the basket right next to all of the eggs, so that way I can grab them. The baskets can hold 40, and then at that point, I would just grab it and make sure that my egg supply is full inside of my cooking station. So there's obviously a lot more eggs here. However, we are going to just leave these for now. We're going to let the chickens hang out. It's really, really important. It's so, so important that when you're done, you have to open the door back up. They have to be able to eat and drink. I have noticed with this chicken coop, I'll find some chickens dead in this corner, and I'm pretty sure it's due to this glitch right here where they just are too dumb to walk around the door. As you can see, literally as I was doing this, we got a few more male chickens because the chicklets grew up. So really important to get these out of here. You want to also control your population because it is kind of a pain to transfer that many live chickens to the store to sell them. All right, we still have at least one rooster in here. So you only need one rooster. And we're going to take our egg basket. So one of the two biggest pitfalls is definitely not opening the door back up to the chicken coop. The chickens like to go inside to avoid the elements and to get to their food and water. And then the other biggest pitfall that happens is random cow death. When you have a cow randomly dying, it's because that they can't get to their food or water source. I've done a ton of testing with this. My previous file was over 100 hours. And again, I massively scaled this. So this right here, this stall, let's say it's one stall, I had 20 rows going all the way down. I had a massive operation. I had 4 of these chicken coops, and I was just like pumping out. I was printing money, basically. So one of the biggest pitfalls with cows is that when you hook up this milk machine, these cows will not eat or drink. So you have to remove it. So that just filled. So I'm going to make sure he's done. So she is done. It's very, very important. If I leave this on here, the cow will not eat or drink, and they will eventually starve to death or dehydrate to death. So you have to remove the machine from the cow. Click once, click again, and that's it. And now she is free to roam around again. Another little tip is when you're adding your 3 ingredients to the pots. So all of these pots each have mold, and they each have milk. Whatever your last ingredient is. Your first ingredient is always going to be milk. You can't put anything in the pot without putting in milk first. So your last item is either going to be mold or egg. So when you put your last item in, just hit E twice so you don't have to pick the pot up and place it back down. So if you just spam E twice, it'll automatically close the pot and start cooking. A few things that you're going to need are the dairy cow. You're going to need chickens. You're going to need 1 rooster. Again, you can start with like 3 female chickens and 1 male chicken. You don't need any male dairy cows. You just need the females for the milk. If you scroll down, you're going to need the coolers because this is how you're going to transfer the finished product to the Best Burger store in order to sell it. These are called pans, but they look like pots and they act like pots. So you're going to need a bunch of these. These are the pots. Again, you're going to need the burners, which you need to get from the hardware store. You're going to need egg baskets to make your life easier, and they're only $10. You're going to need milking machines unless you want to manually run around chasing cows. You're going to need milk cans, again, unless you want to manually run around chasing cows with buckets. You are going to need penicillin rock 40, or penicillium, sorry. Penicillin's derived from penicillium, fun fact. Penicillium is actually like that mold that you see on decaying fruit. That's like kind of a bluish grayish color. It's also found on cheeses. But there are 3 different types of mold in the store. There's a white one, a pink one, and a blue one, to put it simply. The blue one costs the most, and it also creates the most expensive product for you to sell. It is absolutely in your best interest to purchase the blue one and only the blue one. These are kind of irrelevant. You're going to sell your roosters for $100 a pop. Free money. I drove over to the hardware store just to show you guys the burners that you're going to need. They're right here. Compact cooker. This is the only thing that you need to buy out of the hardware store. There are some duplicates, obviously, like you can get the coolers and the pots here and a few other things, the milk cans. But generally, all of your items that you're going to need are in the general store, except for this compact cooker, which is in the hardware store. Another important thing to note is that I put gates in the back of each one of these pens. So this is just for ease of access to get the cows in, as well as when I'm running and I would like to clear a fence. Ever since the Unreal 5 engine update, it's hit or miss whether you can jump over these fences here. You have to really hit it at the right angle, and you have to sprint, and even then it's kind of funky. So I found with these gates, you can pretty much clear them most of the time. So not only is it for ease of access for the cow, but also for your maneuverability to navigate through your world. Your chickens will breed so much that one day you'll wake up and like half of them are just dead on the ground, and it's nothing that you did. The food bowl is full, the water bowl is full. Maybe it's a spacing requirement. I'm not really too sure. I haven't figured that out. However, even though half of them have died, you can still get the money for all their carcasses. And then on top of it, they've multiplied so much that half is still a very large number. And as long as you still have 1 rooster left, you are good to go. And they'll just keep multiplying again and again. As long as you see little chicks around, you know you're doing something right. Make sure you guys are going to sleep right at 2000 hours. You can see right at the top of the screen. As soon as 2000 hours passes, you can skip a full 12 hours in game. This is going to speed up the curing process, getting all of your cheese in the preservation bins to speed up their percentage, as well as being able to milk your cows again. That's it for today, guys, but feel free to write down in the comments section if you have any questions whatsoever. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.